2018 Toyota C-HR SUV Review. The good points of Toyota C-HR SUV. Hybrid efficiency. Concept car design. Engaging their driving. Comfortable and refined. Well equipped. The bad points of Toyota C-HR SUV. Only 2 engines, no diesel. Not as practical as rivals. CVT auto not for everybody. Interior trimming very bold. May date quickly. The Toyota C-HR is really a medium-sized crossover which has a twist. Rather than build an evident Nissan Qashqai rival, considering the family-friendly traits that entails, Toyota has chosen to marry the chunky stance connected with an SUV using a hybrid drivetrain, a sporting, swooping roofline plus the looks of, truth be told, the outlandish concept cars you sometimes see at motor shows. Watch, Toyota C-HR long-term review. Watch, how to operate a vehicle a Toyota hybrid. Watch, Toyota C-HR represents VW truck. Watch, Toyota C-HR versus Mini Countryman versus Audi Q2 versus Infiniti QX30 versus used Range Rover Evoque. Toyota C-HR cars available for sale. Its extraordinarily bold exterior is married with an interior that has equally surprising elements and, to top it all, Toyota spent some time working hard to supply the C-HR an infinitely more satisfying driving experience than we're familiar with from this fundamentally sensible Japanese manufacturer. In fact, Toyota describes the C-HR to be a game changer to the company. The coupe-SUV combination isn't unusual currently, but Toyota may be the first to essentially bring this idea on the mainstream family crossover class, in most respects making the C-HR a possible ideal follow-on car for those who have outgrown the massively popular, similarly proportioned but much smaller Nissan Juke. Certainly, the C-HR is often a breath of clean air compared with more conventional rivals such as Qashqai, Renault Kadjar, Ford Kuga, Skoda Yeti and Kia Sportage. All of these also deserve an area on your shortlist. Toyota is hoping buyers will likely consider it a worthy rival to more premium alternatives including the VW truck, Audi Q2 and Mini Countryman, too. Compromised, or possibly it. There are disadvantages for the shape, naturally. Both rear headroom and boot space suffer electrical systems, and also the small volume of glass from the rear doors can lead to younger backseat occupants complaining of claustrophobia once they're tall enough to know what your message means. And the trunk door handles are extremely high up for the door too, so that it is difficult to access the trunk with your hands full. Both of these issues may be blamed about the styling that also attacked countless buyers to your C-HR. Still, it's possible to get a few adults from the back 3 if they're really friendly. However, the middle seat can be quite much of the rare persuasion, and even though smaller than rivals, the boot isn't tiny. It's a compromise you could be prepared to make should the rest in the package appeals. Novel Toyota C-HR Hybrid particularly impressive. The C-HR plays the design card with impressive conviction. For just a Toyota, along with the hybrid drivetrain is usually a novelty within the crossover sector. This combination of merely 1.8-liter petrol engine and electric motor is borrowed in the latest Toyota Prius, as would be the vehicle platform the C-HR is created upon. This probably won't sound too promising, particularly in reference on the driving pleasure claims. But not only perform Prius underpinnings provide C-HR a lower than usual center of gravity to get a crossover, the full project has become engineered in Europe for Europe, with particular attention paid to European driving habits. It's even been tested inside the UK, and that we've thought it was an incredibly impressive system. It's extremely smooth, quiet and simple they are driving, but moreover, it's capable or returning pretty much as good, or else better, MPG than the usual diesel. In fact, that allows you to prove some colleagues wrong. One of several teams aimed for your best fuel economy possible and beat Toyota's claimed 72.4 miles per gallon. Sign up for Watch the Report. Toyota C-HR, low BIC for company car drivers. Thanks on the petrol-electric hybrid C-HR's CO2 creation of 87 GkM, it is really an SUV that company car drivers can consider. The benefit-in-kind tax strategy is geared towards rewarding lower CO2 models, especially cars using petrol instead of diesel. Limited engine choice, no diesel. Around 75% of C-HR buyers are required to choose the hybrid. Any shock with this stat is lessened because of the knowledge that there's only one other engine choice at launch, a 1-hour 2-liter turbo petrol. Toyota isn't offering, and it has no intentions to offer, a C-HR diesel. It's actually very likely we'll experience a higher performance petrol model further later on. Is the Toyota C-HR 4x4? For now the 1.2 comes as being a 6-speed manual with front-wheel drive plus a CVT automatic that has a choice of front or all-wheel, even though the hybrid comes like a front-wheel drive with the exact same auto box only. There are 3 trim levels, Icon, XL and Dynamic. All are well equipped, keeping the car safe and technology heavily represented. The Toyota C-HR Dynamic would be the most heavily customizable trim, that has a colorful interior planning to match the futuristic exterior. What in regards to more powerful Toyota C-HR? We think this can be highly likely. Toyota announced the 2018 Urus will receive a choice in the 1.8-liter hybrid we're familiar with, or perhaps a 2.0-liter system that's geared more towards keen drivers. The latter will likely find its way in the bonnet with the C-HR from the coming years. The company's spokespeople have stated that driver enjoyment can be a priority now, something which has been sadly missing in many pre-car Toyotas. Our colleagues from Car Magazine have likewise reported around the C-HR high-power concept car, which can be an indication of what to come. C-HR represents Coupé High rider, and that is straightforward enough. But will it be the game changer for Toyota how the Japanese car maker hopes it truly is? Latest deals from Car. Toyota C-HR 1.8 122 bhp Dynamic. £22,941, or £300 each month. Toyota C-HR Crossover 5-Drive 1.2T. £20,490, or £288 every month. See all deals on Toyota C-HR. Representative example. Representative APR of 7.9%, borrowing £10,509 over 48 months on HP-type finance. The quantity payable could be £250 per month, having a total cost of credit of £1,483 and also a total amount payable of £11,992. Dennis Car Limited, 3132 Alfred Place, London. WC1E7DPGBL915158 is really a credit broker regulated by FCA/FRN:667368. The verdict. We've been very impressed with all the C-HR. It's a compelling mixture of low running costs, and engaging drive and family practicality. That's not to cover the benefits with the 5-year warranty and Toyota's famed reliability. Have experienced above. So it was the new car in the year in 2017, and during our extended test with the car we've found so it's an excellent proposition to be a family car together with being fun to operate a vehicle and great on fuel. Watch on for that full in-depth Toyota C-HR review. Hybrid produces more torque but 1.2 more fulfilling. Clever manual transmission, noisy automatic. Don't work with all-wheel drive. Power output in the 2 engines available inside the Toyota C-HR is incredibly similar. The 1.2-liter turbo produces 116 horsepower, the 1.8-liter petrol-electric hybrid a combined 122 horsepower. Watch how they are driving a Toyota hybrid. As this means that performance can also be evenly matched, with 0.62 miles per hour inside hybrid taking 11.0 seconds. As the 1.2 requires 10.9 seconds and the most basic and fastest front-wheel drive, manual gearbox guys. The automatic and 4-wheel drive automatic versions in the 1.2 are slightly slower, and not so much that you notice day to day. Electric torque counts. However, for the reason that electric motor produces 163 Nm of instant torque, almost as much as the 1.2-liter engine, and that's prior to a motor's 1.8-liter petrol partner makes its contribution. Once you're around the move, the hybrid often feels a lot more responsive choice. In some cases the 1.2 feels gutless. Keep the revs up, though, and you'll obtain the smaller petrol and eager companion. It even produces a pleasantly keen noise. Combined together with the standard manual gearbox, this ultimately causes it to be the most engaging C-HR if you want to go fast. Two interesting transmissions. The basic 1.2 could be the only C-HR that comes using a manual gearbox, yet this isn't quite your normal 6-speed. Toyota calls it the Intelligent Manual Transmission IMT, since it cleverly matches the engine revs anytime you change gear to create both upshifts and downshifts smoother. It also increases engine torque when getting off a standstill with the same reason. Both features work almost imperceptibly, but wonderfully. The automatic offered on all versions, for example the hybrid, can be a continuously variable transmission. As is typical for the CVT, this really is smooth, even so the engine noise often doesn't correspond while using speedier driving, which might be a strange sensation in the beginning, sounding rather as should the clutch is slipping. We can easily see very little value in opting for your all-wheel drive option within the 1.2. This is just not an off-road vehicle, plus regular road driving that you are unlikely to view much benefit. C-HR created to improve Toyota's handling image. Very well controlled within the corners, especially to get a crossover. Steering delivers little feedback but good accuracy. Currently Toyota don't even have a track record of building keen drivers' cars, nonetheless it would like to change this. So for your C-HR, a model that's conceived exclusively with the European market, it offers expended a substantial amount of effort wanting to understand European driving traits and just how they influence the introduction of vehicles from your region's brands. The end result is really a Toyota that is certainly much more satisfying from in the driver's seat. What helps make the C-HR a much better Toyota to push? Attention to detail plus a positive attitude, essentially. And by positive attitude we mean which it changes direction with keenness, in lieu of the reluctance you feel in, say, a Toyota Auris. To make a very amendment using a vehicle on the C-HR's increased tide is impressive, and shows how seriously Toyota promises to take driver involvement down the road. As for that attention to detail, it is evident from the consistent behavior of all handling elements. The steering isn't overbrimming with feel and feedback, nonetheless it transitions very smoothly into cornering, with little on the numbness regarding the straight ahead you regularly experience with electrically assisted systems. Similarly, the suspension's damping is very useful, not simply doing a congrats of absorbing bumpy roads effectively but in addition controlling the way the C-HR leans into turns, tilting gently as an alternative to lurching. Toyota says it turned out aiming to provide the handling enthusiasm of a competent hatchback. We'd hesitate to look quite that far in isolation. However, for an SUV it acquits itself commendably, and is usually placed for the road with great accuracy. Which version handles best? The hybrid carries excess fat, especially in front, thus it isn't quite as sharp they are driving as the 1.2. If you want a C-HR that's fun with a broad, we'd opt for the 1.2 while using manual transmission. Bold interior won't be for anyone. It can be functional and to use. Satanov could possibly be clearer. In many respects, the inside with the C-HR is a lot more extraordinary compared to outside, again, especially to get a Toyota. Not only would be the dashboard noticeably angled for the driver, it feels rather lower plus more spacious than you frequently find in crossovers. But most prominent of all will be the Toyota Touch 2 infotainment screen, standard on every model, which sits proud on the leading edge in the dashboard within a distinctive asymmetrical frame. While this is really a detail that appears to be lifted straight from your original C-HR concept car, it really works well used, placing what can be a generously large screen high up from the driver's eye line, so that it is easy to check without looking too far through the road. The bezel has fixed, touch-sensitive controls for usability, and we're happy to report they're responsive and frustration-free. Satan is standard from middle-ranking XL trim. This has some neat features but struggled with clarity when challenged by Spain's, admittedly often complex, road systems about the initial launch event. Diamonds everywhere. Much in the exterior is shaped to produce you imagine diamonds, and reinforcing this message there can be a diamond motif during the entire interior, in the shape from the button clusters around the steering wheel and below the infotainment screen towards the unusual cutouts inside the roof lining. It provides C-HR a design consistency containing often been lacking from Toyota interiors. Won't be for all. Toyota has taken a bit of a risk while using C-HR's interior, however. The design is very bold, so it will potentially postpone more conservative buyers, especially when dressed with all the bright blue and dusky purple trim standard about the top-spec dynamic model. More muted option is available. Such as layered design on the dashboard along with the diamond pattern door inserts, even if they are rather tough to the touch. But it is possible to large swathes of bland-looking plastics, which make the intricacies elsewhere seem just a little tokenistic. Toyota did development work inside the UK. C-HR refers to bumpy surface as well. Both versions are quiet and refined. Toyota has been doing development work within the car here inside UK, and promises that this particular challenge of our own roads continues to be taken into account. Comfortable ride. Indeed, within the rougher sections we've up to now encountered, the shock absorbers exhibited a superb ability to take care of bumps quickly and comfortably. The C-HR's platform has become reinforced in key areas while using AIM, of which makes it especially rigid, which assists in these circumstances. It does also make for any rather heavy vehicle, though, with even the most rudimentary 1.2-liter model weighing 1,320 kilograms, and also the hybrid 60 kilograms more. Our only criticism here is that this C-HR is likely to shake laterally very slightly when driving over straight bumpy roads. This can be a result from the relatively thick anti-roll bars, thus it's a trade-off between handling and ride comfort, but it really is also not just a big reason for concern. Fundamentally, this isn't a less than comfortable car. Refinement. Once working, both versions from the C-HR are quiet within the move, with perhaps the limited number of wind and road noise especially, depending within the surface, making the engine almost imperceptible. The hybrid can, however, work on electric power alone in short distances, passing it on the ultimate advantage with this area, particularly useful should you have sensitive neighbors but often have to leave home early or return late. It is whisper quiet in EV electric vehicle mode. Which wheel dimension is best? We spoke to on the list of chief development engineers, who reckoned the heavier hybrid was best on 17-inch wheels, whilst the sportier 1.2 enjoyed 18-inch wheels. The hybrid felt slightly softer overall to us, so don't think there's major cause of worry in either case, and that is good news since however the entry-level trim feature 18-inch alloys as standard. The Toyota C-HR launches with 3 trim level choices, Icon, XL and Dynamic. Here's that they fare for standard equipment. Standard Toyota C-HR equipment. Highlight standard equipment about the Toyota C-HR Icon. Dual zone climate control. 17-inch alloys. Toyota Touch 2 infotainment. Front fog lights. Rain sensing windscreen wipers. Auto dimming rear view mirror. Additional highlight standard equipment for the Toyota C-HR XL. Partial leather seats, with heating inside front. Keyless entry. Parking sensors. 18-inch alloy wheels. Electric folding door mirrors. Satan and 3-year online services subscription. The Toyota C-HR Dynamic upgrades this further with metallic paint with contrast black roof. Different 18-inch alloy wheels. LED headlamps and fog lights. Purple upholstery fabric. Toyota C-HR, optional extras. The Icon may be upgraded with tech, leather and premium packs, Rogues including both leather along with a specially developed 9-speaker JBL head unit that's also optional around the higher trim levels. All versions are offered with Sport and SUV packs, the previous adding a light body kit, Rogue's sidebars and faux underbody protection. The protection pack adds mud flaps, rear bumper protector, boot liner and front scuff plates. Finally, there can be a number of entertainment packs, providing various front seatback docking selections for iPads, DVD players plus the like, potentially suitable for keeping your children quiet over a long journey and distracting them on the lack of light being released in through the tiny rear windows. A Toyota Safety Sense package is roofed as standard on all versions on the C-HR. This means every example sold features pre-collision system with autonomous emergency braking and pedestrian recognition. Lane departure warning easily turned off via button around the steering wheel if you chose the beeping annoying. Traffic sign recognition, displays signs and speed limits from the instrument cluster. Automatic high beam operation. From mid-range XL trim upwards, the next additional safety products are also fitted as standard. Blind spot monitors, attempts vehicles with your blind spots. Rear cross traffic alert, detects approaching traffic when you're reversing to produce it easier to emerge from parking spaces. Lane change assist, nudges the tire if you seek to change lane without indicating. Again, this can be easily put off if you don't, as we don't. There can also be no lower than 8 airbags on every C-HR, both the more unusual items as a driver's knee airbag as well as a seat cushion airbag for your front passenger, as well as the obligatory electronic stability control. All from the above will be the reason Euro NCAP scored the C-HR its highest award for crash test performance. Watch Toyota C-HR SUV Euro NCAP crash test video. Small boot. Rear visibility not great. You only ought to look with a roof line from the C-HR to see which it won't be as practical as many crossovers. Its footprint is small, though the C-HR can be tricky to see out in the back of. Acoustic parking sensors come standard on mid-spec models. Electrically powered folding door mirrors are standard along the range. So much so, that now in time Toyota only lists a large quantity capacity figure for your boot with rear seats set up, and also at 377 liters that is only just competitive with many family hatchbacks. The Nissan Qashqai crams in 430 liters, some 53 liters more. The C-HR's rear seats do fold. But should you're thinking of taking it to IKEA, you should be aware that this resulting load area isn't flat, as there's a substantial lip between boot floor and also the back on the seats. This is presumably partially down towards the hybrid variant, which stores the batteries with the electric motor under the spine seats. On the plus side, what this means is the hybrid has all the boot space because the non-hybrid, and due to a relatively low seating position for just a crossover, there is certainly still a reasonable number of headroom from the rear, and 4 average-sized adults should fit inside without excessive complaint. The rear middle seat is usually a perfunctory effort, only suitable abbreviated journeys. The seating position is higher than from the platform-sharing Prius, however, so that you do still have a more commanding view in the road inside front. In the spine you'll chose the windows smaller than average, so a corner is somewhat dark. Over-the-shoulder visibility for that driver is compromised for that same reason. Interior storage ranges coming from a generous glove box and deep cup holders for backseat passengers to strangely shallow door pockets that may result in items escaping during vigorous cornering.